After freeing his brothers from the dark and suffocating stomach of the Titan Cronis, Zeus did not pause to celebrate. The memory of chains still burned in their minds, the weight of captivity still pressed upon their souls. And so Zeus led them upward, away from fear and toward destiny, to the summit of Mount Olympus, the highest mountain in all of Greece. Above the clouds, where the earth seemed to touch the heavens, a new stronghold was chosen. Olympus would no longer be just a mountain. It would become the center of rebellion. There, upon those towering heights, the rebel gods gathered, no longer prisoners, no longer powerless. Olympus became their headquarters, a place of resolve and quiet defiance. From that summit, they looked down upon a world ruled by ancient forces who believed their power was eternal. For ages, the Titans had reigned without challenge, and Cronis sat secure upon his throne. But something had shifted.
A new will had risen, and it refused to bow.
The defiance of the Olympian gods did not remain hidden for long. Their gathering marked the beginning of a conflict that would shake the very structure of the universe. This rebellion would give birth to the Titanomachy, the War of the Titans. It was not merely a battle of strength, but a clash of generations. The old order stood against the new, dominion faced resistance, and the balance of power began to tremble. What started in silence on the peak of Olympus was about to erupt into open war. The heavens themselves seemed to hold their breath as fate moved into motion. The rule of the Titans would be challenged, the future of the cosmos would be decided, and the first step toward that destiny had already been taken. High upon his throne on Mount Olympus, Cronis sensed the disturbance before the first blow was struck. The air itself seemed uneasy, as if the world no longer bowed as it once had.
In response, the Titan King summoned his allies, ancient beings forged in the dawn of time. One by one, they gathered beneath his command, answering the call to war. At the head of this immense host stood Atlas, the mightiest of the Titans, appointed as general of Cronis's army, his strength unmatched, his presence dreadful. The battlefield was chosen in the vast plains of Thessaly, where the earth stretched wide enough to contain a war of gods. There, the armies of Olympus and the legions of the Titans faced one another. The ground trembled beneath their steps. The sky darkened as colossal figures moved into position. When the Titans advanced, it was like an unstoppable force of nature. Mountain-sized bodies, fists that could shatter stone, voices that roared like thunder across the plains. The Olympic gods fought with courage, but the power of the Titans was overwhelming. Blow after blow, the Titans pressed forward, their immense physical strength tipping the balance of the battle. Atlas led the assaults with ruthless precision, driving the gods back again and again. Each clash echoed across the land, and it became clear that raw force favored the ancient rulers of the cosmos. As the battle raged, the advantage belonged to the Titans. Their dominion, built over countless ages, seemed impossible to overthrow. The rebellion of Olympus was now fully exposed, and the cost of defiance had become terrifyingly clear. Yet, even as the Titans imposed their will upon the battlefield, Zeus watched and waited. For he knew that strength alone would not decide this war, and the moment to change its course was drawing near. Zeus saw clearly what the battlefield had revealed. Courage alone would not be enough. The Titans were too strong, their bodies forged in an age of raw creation. And so, while the war raged on, Zeus descended into the depths of Tartarus, to a place where light was scarce and hope long forgotten. There, imprisoned in darkness, were the Cyclopes, strange, one-eyed beings, feared and abandoned, bound not for their crimes, but for their power. Zeus shattered their chains and set them free, and in that moment, a new alliance was born. In gratitude, the Cyclopes did not offer words, but fire and steel. Within their blazing forges, they shaped weapons worthy of gods. To Zeus, they gave the lightning bolt, pure, concentrated power, capable of splitting the sky itself. To Poseidon, they forged a majestic trident, a weapon that could command the seas, summon earthquakes, and unleash devastating tsunamis. And to Hades, they granted the Helm of Terror, a fearsome artifact that cloaked its wearer in invisibility, unseen even by divine eyes. Armed with these gifts, the Olympic gods returned to the battlefield transformed. No longer did they stand defenseless before the ancient giants. Lightning tore through the sky. The earth cracked beneath the trident's strike. Shadows moved where no god could be seen. For the first time, the Titans were forced to confront a power that rivaled their own. Yet the war did not end. The Titans answered with fury, hurling entire mountains at their enemies, shaking the land with every blow. The conflict stretched on year after year, nearly a decade of relentless combat. Despite the new weapons, the balance of the war still wavered. And it became clear that even greater power would be required to decide the fate of the universe. Nearly 10 years had passed, and the war showed no mercy. The plains of Thessaly were scarred beyond recognition, stained by endless combat between gods and titans. Mountains lay shattered, the sky was torn by constant storms, and still the struggle raged on. Though armed with divine weapons, the Olympic gods remained locked in a brutal stalemate. The Titans, driven by raw ancient strength, continued to press forward. And once again, the balance began to tilt in their favor. It was then that Zeus made a final and fearful decision. He descended once more into Tartarus and broke the deepest seals of that dreadful abyss. From the darkness emerged the Titanomachy, grotesque giants with 100 arms and 50 heads, beings of terror, long imprisoned even by the Titans themselves. Their appearance alone struck fear into the heart of the battlefield. When the Titans beheld them, panic spread through their ranks like wildfire. With the arrival of these monstrous allies, the war changed instantly. The Titanomachy hurled countless boulders at once, their many arms moving like a living storm. The Titans, once unstoppable, were driven back, their formations broken, their confidence shattered. Chaos replaced order, and for the first time, defeat seemed possible for the ancient rulers of the cosmos. At that decisive moment, Zeus gathered all his strength into his most powerful lightning bolt. The sky blazed as the weapon was unleashed. It struck Cronis directly upon the head, and the force of the impact shook the universe itself. Time seemed to stand still. The war had reached its breaking point, and the fall of the Titans was now inevitable. The thunder of battle faded, and the age of the Titans came to an end. One by one, the ancient beings were subdued, their once unstoppable power reduced to silence. Judgment followed swiftly and without mercy. Cronis and his Titan allies were seized and cast into the depths of Tartarus, condemned to a perpetual existence in darkness and confinement. There, the very forces they had once feared were appointed as their jailers, for the Titanomachy now stood watch, ensuring that the Titans would never rise again. Yet Zeus reserved a punishment unlike any other for Atlas. the great general who had led the Titanic armies against Olympus. Atlas was not bound in chains, nor hidden in the abyss. Instead, he was condemned to bear the weight of the celestial sphere upon his shoulders for all eternity. Under the vast sky, he would stand alone, a living monument to defiance and defeat, his strength forever tested, his fate unending. With the Titans defeated, the Olympic gods rose to supreme power. From Mount Olympus, Zeus established a new order in the universe, one defined not by ancient tyranny, but by authority forged through victory. The reign of the Olympians had begun, and the cosmos entered a new age under their command. The war was over, but its meaning endured. Empires had fallen, power had changed hands, and a single truth now echoed through the heavens and the earth alike. Even the mightiest rulers can be brought low, and the order of the universe can be rewritten in a single decisive moment.